What's up guys, Sean here, and in today's video I'm going to be unboxing some things that were sent in from Mike Kent over at River's Edge Cutlery. If you haven't ever heard of River's Edge Cutlery, it is an awesome knife dealer, so make sure you go check them out. They have a website, great guys over there. And yeah, so Mike reached out to me asking if I was interested in testing some stuff out for him, and I told him I would be honored. And yeah, so here we are. I was not expecting such a gigantic box, so it really got my curiosity going as to what all's in here. I mean, I know what's supposed to be, but it is either a whole lot of those or there's something else in here, so I figured I better get this on video. And here we are. So we're doing this together. Alright, so Mike asked me if I would test out some Strops for him, right? So he's considering carrying Strops that are made by a certain company, and they're made here in America from what I remember, I believe. Maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, so he's sending me a couple different Strops. As you can see, black is going to be cow leather, dark brown is cow leather, and the tan is kangaroo leather. And he wrote, "Thanks, Sean, from Mike." So yeah, that's real cool. Matter of fact, let me make sure that everything is in frame. I might adjust the view, so you may not see so much of me, but we're going to definitely be able to see what's in the box. So give me one sec. All right, guys, so that should be good. Right off the bat, I just want to give a huge thank you to Mike. I was truly honored that you thought of me and considered me to do this testing, try out these products, and the fact that you value my opinion. And yeah, just that alone means a lot to me, so thank you for that. Greatly appreciated. Alrighty. Very cool, very cool. Let's see what's in this little guy first. Trying to be very careful because I definitely don't want to damage any of these before I even get to use them, or else I would not be able to offer very good feedback back to Mike. So very interesting. Oh wow. So It's made by Sydney Stropco. This is very interesting right here. This is neat. I really like the looks of this. If you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you probably know that I prefer stropping in hand, and that is a really, that's like the perfect handle. This is a great idea right here. All right, and here we have a label. It's made in Australia. So not American made, it's Australian made. That is really cool. Then of course it's flat on the very bottom here, so you could sit on the table. You have a nice raised up surface, but I love stropping in hand. I'm used to like a paddle strop where you hold the paddle. That works fine for me, but honestly, this is a much more ergonomic, user-friendly shape for me and the way that I like to strop. Okay, so for probably like the past year now, I have stropped primarily on basswood, and the basswood that I typically use is about 1 inch wide. So this right here looks to be maybe 1 1/4 inches wide, and that is a perfect width. If you are new to stropping, you haven't stropped before, I would recommend possibly starting off on something about this width. It is easier to maintain your angle and just kind of like see what you're doing and follow your angle throughout the entire blade profile, like so. You can go from heel to tip. Okay, so I find it easier stropping this way and more precise. Easier to keep your angle because you don't just have like one axis of movement or whatever, you know, just your hand or your wrist, your hand, and your arm. You also have this whole other hand and arm, so you can manipulate both at the same time to help keep that perfect angle and do it in a way that's, you know, comfortable and ergonomic to you, and also have the benefit of getting the feedback not only from the feel through the knife and the blade, but also through the strop, having it in hand. So yeah, really cool design. Can't wait to try this one out. This one will be loaded up with some gunny juice. Probably gonna do like 1 micron on it, because that is probably the micron rating that I use the most, and I really like the feel of this. But that's not all that's in here, so let's keep going. Might see something else that I like even more. I don't know. Oh boy, this is a lot of strops. Thank you, Mike. Very kind of you to think of me. Oh baby, look at this. Double-sided paddle strop. It's a nice one too. And this is the kangaroo leather. Very cool. Very excited to use this. I believe this is kangaroo. Oh. Yeah, this is tan. Even smells good. Goodness, this one has some weight to it right here. Oh, that would explain it. Very interesting. Huh. This one is on glass. Wow. Talk about some fancy stuff. That is very neat. Black is cowhide. Oh yeah, that is very cool. These seem to be some quality stuff right here. Very nicely made. Oh, buddy. Okay. And then we have another strap right here. This one is the dark brown. This is also cowhide, cow leather. This is the nice firm, kind of slicker feeling leather. That's what I typically use when I do use leather. Then on the back side of this one, we have that softer leather. Now, I personally have never had great luck with this softer kind of fuzzy looking kind of leather, but I'm definitely you know, curious to give it another try and see what happens. And not only that, but we have, let's get this box out of the way now. We have some strop paste. So one says low grit, one says medium grit, and one says high grit. Let's pop one of these open and see what it looks like. Very interesting, because I have not used strop paste before. I used the regular green compound. Matter of fact, I'll grab my Beaver Craft strop. Ooh. Oh, I've been using this one for a long time now. And then this is the back side. It's kind of cut up and stuff. Still works just fine, but yeah, paddle straps are nice. And yeah, so very interesting. So like I said, I've used the regular green compound. That works great, you know, no issues with it. But ever since I switched over to basswood, I love using gunny juice on basswood. It's so effective, and it just works really good. It's easy to use. You get excellent feedback through the basswood. But you know, it's been a while since I've really gave leather a real good try. I think the last leather that was newish to me until these was the KME Strops that are on the little 4" by 1" blanks. And I have some of those in cow leather and some of those in kangaroo leather. And I thought that they were, you know, they worked just fine, except I don't like stropping guided. I like stropping freehand. So it'll be nice to use, you know, try out this stuff or try out these strops. We have some, you know, different leather from a different country, different company, and see what happens. Now the question is, what do I want to use this strop paste or not? I feel like I probably should, since, you know, I'm going to be offering my feedback and my opinions on these strops and the products. So I'll definitely have to do at least one of them with their strop paste, and who knows, maybe I'll really like the stropping paste. You know, I try to never be closed-minded. I try to always be open-minded. I may come to find that the strop paste works amazing, and I, you know, get better results with that. I don't think that's going to be the case, but you know, it's always a possibility. You know, I'm a strong, firm believer in Scott Gunn's products. His Gunny juice really, I mean, you guys see my work. It's great stuff. It works amazing. You know, sharpening is a lot of it, but stropping is just as important. It is absolutely essential. You know, not only for looks, I mean, when it comes to getting a mirror polished edge, if you have a set of Gunny juice and a good set of strops, you can take a knife from 1,000 grit where you know, you can clearly see scratch patterns. It's just, you know, barely even reflective at all, and get it to a mirror polished edge relatively quickly. However, you run the risk, the more you strop, the higher your risk of actually rounding your apex is, because if you use too much pressure or you hold your angle too high, then you're going to start rounding that apex or over polishing the apex and lose the bite, the aggression, you know, the ease of initiating the cut. That's what really makes a difference between a great sharpener and a good sharpener. You know, it's not super difficult to get a very sharp working finish edge, and it's not super hard to get a very sharp polished edge. But to get an insane mirror polished edge that's also insanely sharp, that's when it becomes a challenge. And it is so much of a challenge that it's a common misconception that it's not possible to have a mirror polished edge with a lot of bite and a lot of aggression that makes for a good user. But that's simply not true. It's not the case. You absolutely can have a mirror polished edge that's nasty sharp and has tons of bite and aggression and is a great user, but it takes a lot of practice and experience and patience to get that. A lot of precision, a lot of muscle memory, you know, because every pass you make, there's that chance of human error and raising that angle up just a hair too high, and that could be the difference of everything. So yeah, just takes a lot of practice. But stropping is super important. You know, I highly recommend everybody get themselves a strop and start practicing. You're not going to get it right away, right from the start. It's not going to happen. It's going to take a little bit of practice and all to even be able to get a knife sharper than when you started. You know, when you're first learning, you can expect to round a lot of apexes, and you can also expect to polish the face of your blade. So when you are learning how to strop, do not practice on a nice knife that is DLC coated, or else your DLC coating will get basically polished away way up above your bevel, and it'll look just like it goes from your edge, and then it's just faded, you know, from silver, and then it fades to the regular, healthy, good condition DLC coating. It's not very attractive. So when you're first starting off, you're practicing, practice on some budget knives that are in a satin finish or a stonewash finish, something of that nature, or even a cheap knife with a DLC coated blade, hey, I mean, if you start wearing away the blade coating on the face of your blade, then it just serves to show you that, you know, you're holding your angle too low. So because it takes a lot of time and practice to get it down, and also the fact that I believe it is absolutely essential to being able to enjoy this hobby and get the full potential out of it, because there's the fidgeting, the collecting, the customizing aspect of the hobby. All those things are great, but there's also the function and the using the knives as a cutting tool. And you know, there's a lot of you probably have never experienced even half of a knife's full potential of how it cuts and the satisfaction with a really, really sharp, well done edge. I'm talking multiple times sharper than what you get out of box brand new from the factories. And that is a very satisfying experience. So much so that once you experience that, you will not ever carry a knife that is, you know, less sharp. You just won't. You won't be able to. But it's also a good thing, because a sharper knife is a safer knife. When you have a dull knife and you have to really force it through things, that's when you have a greater chance of injuring yourself, because then you have to get into all these funky positions or whatever to get the leverage to push it through, and then you end up stabbing yourself. It happens to people all the time. So a sharp blade, nice sharp edge, will help you achieve whatever your cutting task is much, much easier. So absolutely important. It's a skill everybody should know. And the other reason is because once you get good at stropping, you should do that before you get good at sharpening, because if you're good at stropping, you can keep a factory edge nice and sharp and keep it going for a long, long time, like a long, long time. And you can also, if you want to really treat yourself and have a knife professionally sharpened by someone like myself or Mr. Scott Gunn or my buddy Tony, you know, there's a lot of great sharpeners. If you want to treat yourself to getting one of your favorite knives professionally sharpened, you'll already get better edge retention, better cutting performance, all that stuff from the start, because it's going to be properly sharpened. But you'll be able to make that edge and that level of sharpness last even longer. You know, you can, if you have multiple knives in your rotation, you can easily get a year out of a good sharpening, as long as you know how to strop and you don't overdo it, you don't round your edge. I mean, there's not really, honestly, there's not really a such thing as over stropping. It's just the increased risk. The more you strop, the more risk of human error, lifting up the angle too high or pushing down too hard, and the leather wrapping around your apex and rounding your apex, and then dulling out your knife. But the more you practice, the better you get, the lower the chances of that happening are. So get yourselves a strap, start practicing, because it takes time, and once you do get it down, it is very, very rewarding. I can't even tell you how rewarding. I mean, it's essential. Essential is a serious word. That means it is absolutely necessary. So anyway, guys, this is going on long enough. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thank you all for watching. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. Stay tuned, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.